Case File TR7141. The motion alert arrived at 3:03 a.m. from a doorbell camera mounted on a house in Vermont. The video showed the inside of a chapel in Iowa that burned down in 1976. Pews, ash on the floor, moonlight through windows that no longer existed. At the altar, a woman knelt with her back to the camera, whispering the homeowner's full name into folded hands. The homeowner had never been to Iowa. When he tried to delete the clip, the camera spoke through its tiny speaker. "Not yet. She is almost done asking." In the final frame, the woman turns around. Her face is the homeowner's front door, complete with brass numbers. And a peephole. From inside the peephole, someone knocks. Forever, it made the woman seem farther away than she was. Then the woman lifted her head and said Lacey's full name. Lacey dropped the phone on the bed. For 10 minutes, she did nothing. She listened to the house. The refrigerator ticked. A pipe knocked once in the wall. Outside, the motion light above the porch stayed off. When she picked up the phone again, the live feed had returned to normal. Her porch was empty. The welcome mat was damp from thawing snow. A moth flickered against the light. The event recording remained. She watched it 6 times. The chapel was there each time. The woman was there. The name was there, spoken softly, with the weary intimacy of someone praying for a relative in surgery. Lacey called the camera company first. They told her it was probably a cloud routing error, a cached frame from another user, maybe a corrupted clip attached to the wrong account. The support agent asked if Lacey recognized the church. She said no. That was almost true. There had been a church like it in her grandmother's photo album, St. Bartholomew's Chapel, built outside Keokuk, Iowa in 1898. It had burned down in 1976 after a lightning strike. Her grandmother used to say the building went fast because the pews had been waxed for Easter. No one died in the fire, according to the newspaper archive. According to the parish records, one woman went missing. Her name was Ruth Ellen Morin. Lacey had never met Ruth. Ruth was a great aunt, or maybe a cousin twice removed. In the family, she was less a person than a blank space in a sentence. Ruth went to pray before the storm. Ruth was not there when the roof came down. Ruth was never found. At 3:03 the next morning, the doorbell chimed again. Lacey had been waiting on the couch with every light in the house on. The notification appeared with the same cheerful icon. Motion detected. Front porch. The chapel feed opened before she touched it. This time the woman stood in the aisle. She faced away from the altar. Her gray coat was scorched along one sleeve. Meltwater dripped from her hem onto the chapel floor, though Lacey could see snow falling through the roof. The woman moved one step toward the camera. Lacey whispered, "Please don't." The phone speaker crackled. The woman said, "She has learned the door." Behind her, something shifted in the darkness beneath the choir loft. The camera did not autofocus on it. The compression smeared it into a tall vertical shadow. But Lacey saw hands. Too many hands, palmed down on the floorboards, pulling a body forward inch by inch, The woman began to pray again. This time, Lacey heard every word. Deliver Lacey Morin from the threshold. Deliver Lacey Morin from the watcher at the hinge. Deliver Lacey Morin from the house that answers when called. The doorbell rang in Lacey's actual hallway. Not outside. Inside. The sound came from the little white chime box mounted above the coat closet. Ding, dong. 2 notes. Polite. Domestic. Impossible. On the phone, the chapel woman turned sharply toward the camera. Ging, gong. 2 notes. Do not open it, she said. The front door lock clicked. Lacey ran to the entryway. The deadbolt was still thrown. The chain was still latched. Through the frosted glass beside the door, she saw no shape on the porch, only the blue wash of pre-dawn snow. Then her doorbell camera spoke from outside. Not through the phone, through the small speaker beside the button. "Lacey?" it asked, in her mother's voice. Her mother had been dead for 9 years. The voice was not a recording. It breathed. It waited. It said, "Baby, I left my keys." Lacey backed down the hall until she hit the wall. The phone in her hand showed the chapel aisle. The gray-coated woman was walking toward the camera now, fast, her wet hair lifting as if in a wind. Behind her, the thing under the choir loft raised a face made of doorbell lenses. Dozens of black glass circles opened across it, each reflecting a different porch, a different hallway, a different sleeping room. The woman reached the camera and pressed both hands against the invisible glass. She said, "It learns by being answered." The front door handle turned. The next part of the recording was recovered from Lacey's cloud account. Police found her phone on the floor at 4:12 a.m. Still warm. Still open to the camera app. The house was locked from the inside. No footprints marked the snow on the porch. No one appeared on the street cameras before or after the event. Lacey was in the coat closet. She was alive, but she had removed every hinge pin from the closet door using a butter knife. The door lay flat across her lap like a shield. Her fingers were bleeding. She kept repeating that she had not answered it. She had not answered it. She had not answered it. The doorbell camera was missing. In its place, screwed neatly into the siding, was a small brass plaque from St. Bartholomew's Chapel. Investigators found soot on the screws. The plaque read, "Please knock before entering." 6 hours later, a new clip appeared in Lacey's camera history. It showed a front porch in Iowa, a porch attached to a farmhouse that county records say was demolished in 1984. Snow fell upward into the sky. At the edge of the frame, Ruth Ellen Morin stood with her back to the camera, praying. This time, she did not say Lacey's name. She said, "Yours."